Hi, I'm Geoff Moore, and today I want to give you a chalk talk on a new book I've written called Zone to Win, Organizing to Compete in an Age of Disruption. It's not a very long book, and I hope to interest you in digging into it deeply. The chalk talk is going to cover three things. It's going to cover the challenge that the book seeks to address, which is a challenge that Clay Christensen taught us to call the innovator's dilemma. It's how does an established enterprise stay true to its existing book of business and still catch the next wave. What we're going to talk about is a organizational framework called the 4 zones, and how that organizational framework helps you both maintain your commitments to your established book of business and get yourself in a position to catch the next wave. And we're going to end up the chalk talk talking about 2 case studies, one with Salesforce and one with Microsoft, in a frame we call zone to win, or zone offense and zone defense, and you'll see where that goes. So when you think about the impact of disruptive innovation, the key idea here is that something that used to be expensive and scarce has now become ubiquitous and free. If you look at the innovations of cloud computing, smartphones, social networks, data science, and Internet of Things, these are 5 waves of disruption going through our economy right now. The reason they're getting so much attention? Well, let's look at each one. In the case of cloud computing, it makes deploying software applications globally virtually free, certainly compared to how it was 25 years ago. If you look at smartphones and you say, what does it take to connect with a billion people on the planet one-to-one? The answer is virtually free. They have their own phone, you don't pay for the network, it's all there. You look at social networking and you say, well, I'm not sure that isn't that more of a consumer thing, but if you look at businesses, you say, look at Uber, look at Airbnb, both of those companies are adding resources to their business networks for free. Uber does not buy cars, and Uber does not employ drivers, and Airbnb does not buy properties, and they don't employ property managers. So you can begin to see how social is going to change, wherever it can be applied, it's going to change the rules of engagement. And then data science gives us the ability to create algorithms. Now the data science is still scarce, and it's still expensive. But once you have the algorithm, it's ubiquitous and free. It does not negotiate wage increases as you go forward. And finally, when you look at the Internet of Things, which is probably the least deployed yet, but as that gets deployed, as we're seeing with things like Nest in the home and whatnot, you can essentially optimize a physical system for free. So when you realize how impactful these things are, the key message for anybody in any sector of the economy is, sooner or later this wave is going to change the rules of engagement in your sector. It's going to change the design constraints around the solutions. And when that happens, it's really important for you to catch the next wave. Now we've known this for a very long time. And the sad fact is that it's been very, very hard for companies to actually do this. Here's a list of technology leaders who have missed their next wave. There are 54 companies on this list. They go all the way back to the mainframe companies. They come all the way up to the mobile companies, mobile handset companies of the last few years. In every case, these are companies that were business leaders. These were not the second and third rate companies. These were the winners. And in every case, they failed to catch their next wave. So it just begs the question, why is this so hard? What's making this so hard? And we used to say, well, it's the antibodies, it's the corporate antibodies, it's inertia, it's whatever. We got to get more precise about it if we're going to actually fix this problem. So the fellows at McKinsey the people at McKinsey had come up with a very useful model that helps us get right at the nub of what's going on here. It's a model that talks about how resources are allocated during the annual planning process across 3 different horizons of return on investment. So the idea is, if I give you some money in an annual planning exercise, when do I get it back? Now, Horizon 1 is I'll get it back in the current fiscal year. I'll give you more money for headcount, you'll give me more sales at the end of the year. I'll give you more money for engineering headcount, you'll give me a new product. Horizon 2 is, well, I give you the money this year, I actually don't get anything back this year, but next year I will, and the following year I really will. And then there's even a Horizon 3, which is, I'm not sure if we'll ever get the money back. This is 3 to 5 years out. It's just an experiment, but if it works, it could be a really game-changing experiment.